I used to have little competitions with myself. How cheap can I eat today? And I got it down to one of my favorite Vietnamese street restaurants. It's basically $1.25 a meal.
Yeah.
3 times a day. You know, I could survive if I had to on $3.75 a day. Even at 800, it's a way different life. Here,
oh yeah, imagine 800.
Back there, you're living in your storage unit.
Yeah, and when the owner of the property that you're in the storage unit finds out you're out there, they're not too happy.
But then you get 3 meals for free because you're in jail. $3,000 US
to get the surgery.
To get a full, yeah. I mean, that's a $50,000.
Oh yeah.
Surgery.
I thought you meant like an MRI or something.
No.
It was like the surgery.
Yes.
So this is Dan of Vagabond Awake, and today we have Mark back. Whoa, Mark.
Dan.
It's been 1.5 years.
Yes, welcome.
And
wait, I've been here for the whole time. You welcome back.
Yeah. And you were here for 1.5 years in Vietnam, and now it's 3 years.
Yes.
And Mark has a channel, everyone. We're going to talk about that too.
Okay. It's been a long journey, an interesting ride already, and the channel hasn't started yet.
Yeah, we're plugging Mark. We're getting Mark going this week. So Mark, you mentioned earlier that, you know, maybe for me, our relationship started 3 years ago, but yep. you were saying.
Well, my relationship with you started about 5 years ago when I started studying YouTube channels from Southeast Asia, because I knew I was going to want to retire here. COVID got in the way for a couple of years, but starting to learn about general Southeast Asia things, something specific to Vietnam, and your library of videos was an absolute goldmine of information for me.
Yeah.
So I knew who both of you were, and I can remember the day we met like it was yesterday. I was driving in the expat area of Da Nang on my motor scooter with my girlfriend at the time on the back.
And man, she was beautiful.
Yes, she was.
We both talked about it.
But afterwards. It still does not stop a 6-foot-something Malaysian runway model from catching your peripheral vision. Because you don't see one of those every day in Malaysia, let alone Da Nang.
Yeah.
So I turned my head at this statuesque figure and I went, oh my God, that's Dan. Not the 6'1" Malaysian runway model, but the guy walking next to her who I recognized instantly. I don't know if you remember, but I drove diagonally across all lanes of traffic, pulled up on the sidewalk in front of you, because not only I wanted to be able to thank you, because you know, being able to do the type of research and become familiar with customs and the money and the food before you make a massive 180-degree life turn is invaluable.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say hello and thank you and let you know how valuable you were to helping me get to a next stage in life.
Well, you're very welcome. And you paid me back to 10x with your 2 million views.
Well, that's still a great world mystery, but you're welcome.
You're going to find out soon. I have a feeling. So Mark, for new people here, where in the world are you from, and where are we sitting again right now?
Okay, well, I'm from the United States of America. I've lived all over the country. I was born and raised in the Northeast, but I traveled a lot around, had a little bit of the gypsy blood for about 15 years, from the early 90s to the early 2000s. And we are now sitting in what has been my home for the last 3 years in Da Nang, Vietnam.
Yeah.
By the beach.
Yeah.
By the beach.
And this is a beautiful place you have here.
Thank you. It's nice. It's mostly for the dog. He needs a lot of room. I don't need nearly as much room as he does, but no, it's a great city and it's comfortable. And you know, after 3 years, you look at it in a much different light than you did when you first got here. Some more favorable, some like, oh no, not that again. But you know, you have to learn to adapt and overcome.
We get questions all the time about how to bring your dog to a foreign country. And so make sure you do a video about that on your channel.
Speak of the devil.
Speaking of the devil, yeah.
Sits.
How are
Plots.
you doing, sir?
No. Yeah, it's not easy. It's, we all are emotionally attached to our pets. And it's quite obvious if you're going to take them to the other side of the world to the company that's going to help you do that. So it is not inexpensive, but there's just so much paperwork and hoops to jump through. I can't imagine trying to do it without a professional pet transportation company.
Oh, cool.
And I'll talk about it in the future on my channel, because nobody wants to leave a family member behind. If they have a strong draw to relocating somewhere else in the world, they want to be able to bring them.
Yeah.
And it takes some studying up on.
Many families, mine included, we loved our pets as much as or more than each other.
Well, and there's another video there, animals versus human beings. Yeah.
So, Mark, you're 3 years now. Would you do the whole thing all over again?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I realize now one of the most interesting aspects of the timing of the move that I made is that I got to Vietnam literally 2 months after it opened up, after being closed for 2 years.
Wow.
Tighter than a clamshell to the outside world.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I got here to Da Nang, I thought, oh, wow, great, bustling city. But the people that had already been here would tell me, are you kidding? This is nothing. This is 10% of what this city and this beach area was before COVID.
Yeah.
So now I've had 3 years to watch everybody slowly come back. I mean, just buildings going up. I mean, right now, I don't know how many thousands of units I'm watching in major commercial construction sites of condo retail complexes all over the city going up. So evidently, some pretty smart developers think there's still a lot more people coming. So the growth, whether it's to get back to where it was or to just a continued growth, it's still going.
Yeah, and Vietnam has such a great name right now. Everyone's talking about it around the world. So Mark, last time you mentioned, people have a hard time understanding why it is that expats can come here and live on so little. One of the things that helped them understand it is by understanding what the locals make. What's a typical Vietnamese salary?
Maybe not the typical salary, but I do know the sort of the target numbers for some different jobs.
Yeah.
Because I had a little hot dog stand
Yeah.
for about my first year with a Vietnamese partner. So, for example, if we go to a Starbucks in the U.S., they've been shouting for a $15 minimum wage for years. I think they got it in many states, what have you.
Yeah.
But here, an average university student just helping serve and make coffee in a cafe, 75 cents to $1 an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so long ago in the U.S.
Yeah, and I asked another friend who, and we talked about this one last time because I specifically asked him. He, longtime bartender in a very popular expat bar restaurant. And because the bartenders there were very close to the owner and they'd been there for 4 and 5 and 6 years, they acted as much like managers. They were always overseeing this, handling that. So I thought he probably made at least 20, 25 million dong
Right.
a month.
Right.
And he told me 8 or 9. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, 8 or 9 million dong is, $350.
Yeah, 320 probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it depends which, but yeah, that's crazy.
So, yeah.
and that level of work, they're there all the time, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Another thing that I can share, having one of my businesses flipping houses and doing remodeling. When I was building my little hot dog stand, I needed an electrician. And I could get a fairly qualified electrical tradesman, and their day rate was, come over and just do the wiring I need. And they're going to say, well, it's going to be, if it's 5 hours or 6 hours, you're going to pay me for the day. And that would be 500,000 dong, which is $20.
Wow.
So that's an electrician for $20 a day.
Yeah.
Plumber, same thing.
We talk to expats all the time, and we hear for rent, people are paying 300, 350, 400. Now, some are in places like this, it's more, but what a bartender who has a $300 salary, what's his apartment cost?
Well, I think a lot of times these are younger. A couple of those bartenders were 28, 29. I know 2 of them have gotten married since I've known them in the last 3 years. But a lot of times they live at home. I know on the lower level, the young university students that are working for $1 an hour, they'll have 3 students that will live in one room and it might be a building where it's a shared bathroom down the hall, a community bathroom,
Right.
but the rent might be $60 or $80 a month for that room, and they
Wow.
would split it 3 ways.
Oh,
I met a friend who just, I went to a small spa. It was a 1-gal show, and I was very impressed. The gal that opened it up was maybe 26 years old. I happened to go in for a foot massage. Maybe she'd only been open 2 weeks. And I'm always interested, well, why, you're young, how do you do this business? Well, I worked at a spa for a while, and now she had a little location. She worked down here, and she slept in a what do we call that thing? The bunk bed?
the loft?
A loft.
Loft.
In the loft up
Yeah.
above. So this little room, which was no more than 10 feet by 12 feet, was her business and her home. And so I said, well, how? And that was 3 million dong a month rent, $100 US.
Wow.
So her home, her business, so
It's a different world
yeah.
here.
But I can tell you what has gone up, and this will be talked about in the future more and more, because rents, higher end rents for visiting tourists, for expats that live here, have gone way up. I saw a house when I was looking to move to a new location 2 years ago, before I got this villa. I looked at a house farther south in a popular area close to FPT University.
Okay.
There was a brand new 3-story house, and it was built in an area. There were no other houses on the whole block. It looked like a slice of toast sticking up in the desert, you know,
Yeah.
these thin houses.
Yeah.
But it was brand new. Nobody ever lived there, and it was 15 million a month. But because I wanted to move closer to my little restaurant, I didn't take it. Well, now I've seen that for rent 2 years later. Maybe it's had a couple of tenants, and they now want 25 or 30 million for the same place.
Right.
So let's call it 25. I mean, it's gone up 60% in 2 years.
Yeah.
So because the people have come back, market supply and demand, rents have gone up.
Right.
At least in the expat area, maybe not in the central city, in the older part of.
What's a range, if you
Sure,
talk to expats,
sure.
what's a range for expats that live here?
Okay, so most expats live down in the sort of the expat area.
Yeah.
Prices are higher.
Yeah.
So, for example, what I have here,
Oh my gosh.
a 3-bedroom, 3-bath villa.
Yeah.
It's in a gated community, but there's only 3 of those
Right.
in the entire city.
Yeah.
This would be 50% more expensive if it was 3 miles south of here.
Yeah.
But in that area, you can get a lot of people like to go with a studio.
Yeah.
You can get a decent studio for $7 to $10 million. So $300 to $400.
Yeah.
$300 to $400.
Yeah, we're in one right now that's 340. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
And we're in a
9 million.
9
So
million.
what-
Yeah. So including food, like what's a range you've heard? Like
Living,
Yeah,
food. Okay,
for an
food and rent. I just heard someone talking about that they do just fine on, I think it was $1,500 a month.
Okay.
I'm like, please teach me.
please teach me.
I should be so lucky.
I think your taste is a little higher. Plus, you need it for the dog. Come
Well,
on.
absolutely. So yeah, and again, eating, you can eat cheap, and I love eating cheap, except if I'm really trying to work hard on some part of my diet or something.
Yeah.
But boy, when I'm not worried about the calories in and calories out, I used to have little competitions with myself. How cheap can I eat today? And I got it down to one of my favorite Vietnamese street restaurants. It's basically $1.25 a meal.
Yeah.
3 times a day. I could survive if I had to on $3.75 a day. The cha da, the watery tea is free.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and then
We've done it.
yeah, no. So some days I'll just think, yeah, let me see how inexpensively, and then other days, you're off to the steakhouse.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
But it's just knowing you can do it. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's like, oh, who cares what happens? I can live on $800 a month here. Well,
Yeah.
I'd rather not find out if I can, but some people do it.
And some people, they like life better here at 800 than they do in the U.S.
Well, it's even at 800,
5,000.
it's a way different life here.
Oh yeah, imagine 800
back
in
there,
the
you're
States.
living in your storage unit.
Yeah. And when the owner of the property that you're in the storage unit finds out you're out
absolutely.
there, they're not too happy.
But then you get 3 meals for free because you're in jail.
Exactly. Oh boy. You still feel the same about safety here?
Yes, except for one aspect.
Okay.
And I think we touched on it, the driving. It's Vietnam actually realized that there was something they had to do, and they started to take breaking driving rules seriously. Like, get this, you're not allowed to go through the red lights anymore. They don't want that. Now, if you get caught doing it, the fine is 20 million dong. If you go through a red light in your car.
And they're enforcing that now.
Well, when they first passed the rule towards the beginning of the year, they put there's still signs with the fines on them at intersections, but they put police at all the major intersections because I still almost do it sometimes. The other thing that is quite a common practice is just drive into oncoming traffic on the wrong side of the road if you've only got to go 30 meters.
Yeah.
But they post the fines, which are just, crippling. If the average Vietnamese person got a fine for 20 million, $850.
That's like 2 months' work.
Well, they probably don't have it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But if they did, or they couldn't drive until they found it, so Vietnam realized they had to do something. You have to just be careful. You have to go slow and have your head on a swivel. As far as crime and anything else, nothing. It's still safe. People walk around all times of the night. The only time you ever hear about any violence or anything, alcohol's always involved. It's in the bar district, so that's pretty universal.
Yeah, absolutely. And about medical, have you had any experiences recently about that? What are the prices? And
the prices are still the same. Since we last talked, I've had an MRI, and I've had a little visit to the dentist, and it's still so inexpensive. It's just makes you giddy when you go to pay.
Do you remember what your MRI was?
Yeah. I've had 3 in 3 years.
Okay.
And it's the full circle. Go to the orthopedic department, talk to the doctor, checks out your shoulder. Yeah. MRI gets developed, come back, post MRI consult, all that. Let's round it up now, probably a little bit, 200 US.
Wow. And
I was pricing MRIs for a shoulder that I'd needed an MRI on for probably the last 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
But the cheapest, as a self-insured small businessman, the cheapest cash price I could get in South Central Pennsylvania, very inexpensive area, $1,200.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's 1/6.
Back then, you weren't carrying health insurance. You just pay as you go. You still doing that?
Yes, I like to think that going to the gym every day, eating extremely healthy, is my health insurance.
Yeah.
Now, maybe I'm a little naive. If I have a channel and then suddenly one day you just never see me ever again, you'll know I miscalculated that.
It was a bad bet.
Yeah, bad. But so far, no health insurance.
But the good news is, if somebody calls and you're rushed to the hospital, the bill won't be $100,000.
No. Well, who did I talk? Oh, the last time I had to fly out of the country and back, guy in front of me had a knee brace on, and it was a young, athletic-looking fella, and I helped him get some stuff out of the overhead. And then we started talking, and he had to get, the typical ACL. My ACL.
Yeah.
It's tough to get those letter things when you're a little dyslexic. The ACL, and he had that done in Vietnam, in Da Nang.
Yeah.
And so I asked him, because I was been thinking about, and $3,000 US
to get the surgery
to get
done?
a full, that's a $50,000.
Oh yeah.
Surgery.
I thought you meant like an MRI or something.
No.
You know
it was
about the surgery?
Yes.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And I was like, well, how happy are you? He's like, well, happy. And I believe he did it at the same hospital I go to, one called VinMec.
Yeah, VinMec.
But 3,000. So maybe there's hope for some patchwork in the future. I don't know.
That reminds me, since I last seen you, you're like shredded right now. Are you going to talk about that on your channel?
Well, yeah, because I love health and fitness, but so there's the one thing that is the benefit of the retirement. You have more time. So you can either exercise more, but I just set a goal. Being a former entrepreneur and, working hard and understanding what it takes to achieve a goal, I wanted to do something that I'd never done. I wanted a 6-pack.
Yeah.
Do not ask me to lift my shirt, because 2 of the cans are still at the convenience store. They haven't arrived yet. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about.
So Mark, tell us what you think your channel is going to be about. I mean, you're going to, today, your first 4 videos go up, but what do you think it'll go towards?
Well, you know, of best laid plans, maybe, I don't have a plan, to be quite honest with you. I fought this idea as long as I could, you know, so who knows?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a script writer. I'm not going to be a cinematographer. I'm going to be a talker.
Yeah.
I'm going to be opinionated.
Yeah.
There will be no editing, mostly because I don't know how. So there'll be start rolling, let her rip, unedited, unbridled,
Uncensored.
stick around as long as you can take it, or as long as you're laughing, or whatever. I really don't have a plan. I just know that as I've thought back, there's just so many things. It's just so easy to talk about because 2 things, being in Southeast Asia, but I realized you could do a YouTube channel once you retire, because it is so different from the life we lead in the West,
Yeah.
where it's all the grind and the stress of the money and the expense and the competition and the, you know, so either relocating or just retiring are a channel, and I can espouse to some degree of expertise-ism on both of those topics.
Yeah.
And then when you put them together, look out.
Everybody go over to Mark's channel.
Please.
Mark, we love listen to this guy talk. We really think you're going to love it too. Go over there and listen to what he has to say. Mark,
I appreciate it, Dan. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you all on the Mark side.
Hey, could you do me a little favor? Go over to Mark's channel. See this video right here? That's on Mark's channel. While you're over there, subscribe, watch a couple videos. Thanks.